So I'm going out the side door of the restaurant to get pictures of the horse and the colt. I hope they will stay here. I've mostly not seen them this close. One day he was this close. What a big horse. He's huge. Caballo. Gorgeous. And the colt, I don't know that I've ever been this close. Hola, Senor Caballo. I don't know the word for colt. They are gorgeous. I've gotten some videos of them running through the fields. And they decided to come over here and eat. Bueno, senor. I don't know if this is a senor. Is this a senor? Sí. Sí. I have very little experience with horses. Have ridden minimal in my life. At one point I rented a farmhouse that had a horse, Goldie, and you were to ride Goldie, I think bareback. I think you could put a little harness on her. And I had a bad experience where she threw me, and I wasn't really unconscious, but when I kind of came to, I was right next to a big boulder, and it scared the crap out of me. So I never went back on Goldie. And I've recounted elsewhere. I've had some good experiences with horses over the last 3 years. They do seem to like me. And now I have a burro friend right down the street. Little donkey friend who I visit with frequently. So he's got horse energy. So look, I guess that one's markings would not win him any prizes, but he runs beautifully. I've gotten some pictures of him running. He's coming up close to be with his dad, I guess. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's making motions like he's gonna nurse. Maybe that is his mom. Yeah, looks like the teats. Not, yeah, teats, got teats. They're still nursing. So much for my knowledge of horses. I've just demonstrated my complete ignorance of horses. Now, how old would this guy be? Less than a year, maybe? See, I've just never lived on a farm. As a kid, we were city kids. Southwest suburbs of Chicago. Never got to the country much. We had a lake that we would go to out in what now is a far-flung suburb of Chicago, out in Wakanda. My mom had been born on the west side of Chicago, River Forest. Just a lovely suburb just west of the city. But lived, I guess, at some point out in Wakanda. Her mom had been the switchboard operator, the telephone operator, when it was a matter of putting, like the Lily Tomlin bit with putting the plugs in and stuff. She did that and would listen in on people's party line conversations and stuff, where you had a 6-party line or something. Wakanda now, kind of a posh, I think kind of poshish, far-flung suburb of Chicago. One time, my mom worked with a woman that we called Aunt Faye. She wasn't actually an aunt. My mom's one foray into corporate work. She had worked for a big company in downtown Chicago. And Aunt Faye was her friend there. And when Aunt Faye went back to Iowa, we did one trip out there, and I remember it as being very idyllic. And the closest I got to getting away from the city was Bellevin, Wisconsin, a little cottage park that was mostly South Side Irish Chicagoans. And I didn't realize the racism of that park until I attempted to bring my teenage mixed-race kid there. And he ran into it, and I'm like, oh, brother, this is a side of this place. I've always held this place as an idyllic place. I don't like seeing this. Kind of spoiled it for me. So very little experience in the country. I've lived in the country a number of times as an adult. My wife and I were in a back to the country mode during the last 3 years or so of our marriage, 2 years. And I've lived outside of Asheville, a couple of places. But the last 3 years, since the COVID shut down Asheville, I went to the country, and I've been a country guy ever since, and have discovered that just naturally I am. I prefer the rhythms, the low stimulation of the country. And I do well with animals. I do love my animals. And there's a little cart going by, very Mexico. The cart set up on a bicycle. Lots of people will wander the streets here carrying whatever it is they make, tortas, sandwiches, enchiladas, tamales, etc., cheese pies. And a very charming thing about the bus to and from Martinez, at every big stop, people will board with their little Tupperware containers or their little thing that's strapped around their neck where they're selling whatever it is they have created that they want to sell on the bus. That's very homey and charming. And the beaches are full of people doing that. Buenos dias!